Welcome to Unicorn Recap. Today I am going to review a supernatural horror film, Countdown, released in 2019. Spoilers ahead. Let's dive in. A group of friends sitting around a table at a house party. The girls talk about an app. The others asks about it. She reads the description and tells that this app can tell you exactly when you're going to die. All of them except Courtney want to make a drinking game out of it. They decide that the one with the least to live will drink everything that's on the table. Courtney reluctantly does it too and accepts the terms and conditions. Everyone gets around 40 to 20 years of life. Courtney looks upset. She shows them that she only has 3 hours to live. The rest make fun of her. They tell her that she has to abide by the rules of the game and drink. Her boyfriend Evan comes over. He drinks instead of her. Later, the two of them are going over to his car. He's visibly drunk. When they enter, she asks him to walk her to her house. She do not want to drive to home. She gets out and starts walking. He tries to convince her to come back in. When he doesn't succeed, he dives off angrily. Courtney gets a message from the app saying she's broken the user agreement. She continues to walk. It looks like somebody is following her. The app says she has less than 2 minutes to live. She runs to her house as the app continues to blare on her phone. She powers it off. Courtney walks into the bathroom. She becomes increasingly paranoid, so she checks the shower curtain. She goes to drink some water. The curtains move again. She turns around, but something grabs her from above and drops her on the shower, breaking her head. She dies when the countdown timer runs down to 0. Meanwhile, Evan was in a car accident. The passenger seat where Courtney was supposed to be is completely trashed. Quinn walks into the room, discovering that Evan is not in room. She knows where to find him. He's sitting on a balcony in a closed wing of the hospital. She sits with him and tries to make small talk to relax him for surgery. He shows her the countdown app, which says that he's only around 19 hours left. He tells her about the app and his girlfriend, convinced that it knew when she was going to die. Evan thinks that the app also knows that he will die during his surgery. Quinn tells him not to worry about the app and makes him come back to his room. Quinn tells her friends about the app, and some of the others have already heard about it. They laugh about it. Scott gets more than 50 years to live, and so does Dr. Sullivan. Suddenly, a man walks in carrying a woman that's overdosing. The doctor checks her right there on the floor. Amy tells Quinn to bring the kit with the drugs to counteract what she's taken. Amy administers it to the woman, and she wakes up. Quinn is leaving work. She gets an ad for the app. She downloads it and enters her information, agreeing to the terms. The app tells her that she has little over 2 days to live. Suddenly, Dr. Sullivan walks into the elevator and flirts with her. She tries to let him off easy. That night, Quinn is at home finishing her nursing documents. She runs into a problem. She'll need to enter the information from her birth certificate. Quinn doesn't have it with her. She goes to get it from her parents' house. She sifts through her mom's papers and finds it on the bottom of the pile. Something moves in the closet behind her. When she opens it, she finds her sister Jordan there along with her boyfriend. Quinn scolds her sister about it. Jordan is angry with her for parenting her and not coming over to see her more often after their mom died. Quinn goes to her room to apologize. Her father wakes and comes to greet her. He's happy to see Quinn and asks her if she wants to come with them to visit her mom's grave. The next day, Evan is preparing for his surgery. He sees that he has around 3 minutes to live. He leaves the room and the app pushes a notification on his phone telling him he's broken the agreement. Evan sees a deathly figure behind him in the mirror. No one's there. He escapes to the stairwell. The app continues to notify him of the countdown. Evan can't get out of the dark stairwell. He hears footsteps inside the stairwell. He uses the light on his phone but can't see anyone downstairs. Evan looks up and thinks he sees Courtney, but it's something else. It's coming after him. His phone drops down the stairs. When the countdown reaches 0, he falls down. Later, Quinn comes to work and Amy informs her about Evan. She remembers the app and seems disturbed. Quinn goes to his room. She sees her colleague packing it up. She tells her that she'll take over. She finds his phone and realizing she needs his fingerprint to open it. She goes to see his body in the basement facility. Quinn tries to open his phone with his thumb, but it doesn't work. She tries again with his face. She opens his eyes and manages to open the phone, finally, only to see the countdown has reached 0. Suddenly, his hand falls and touches her. She drops the phone. When she picks it up, his head is turned and he's looking at her. She puts the body back inside the freezer. Quinn checks her phone to see that she has less than 2 days to live in. The countdown time is at the same hour when she'll meet her father and sister at her mother's grave. She calls her dad and cancels their plan. The app sends her a notification that she's broken the user agreement. She notices a figure in the room she passes. She comes back and no one's there. Suddenly, Dr. Sullivan scares her. He asks her to help with a patient, but she has trouble with a machine. She wants to leave. He stops her, trying to awkwardly comfort her. The doctor makes another advance on her and she declines. He keeps going when she pushes him off. She goes to find Nurse Amy and tell her about what's happened. Before she can say anything, the doctor calls for Amy. She doesn't get to tell her. The app flashes another notification. Quinn tries to delete the app but can't. She searches for it online and finds information about Courtney. She watches a video from a girl ranting about the app. She tells that she's seeing things like her dead cousins. Suddenly, the girl says her time is up. Then she sees something, screams, and drops her phone. The comments under the video say it's a fake. So Quinn relaxes a little bit and shuts her laptop. Suddenly, she sees dead Evan. Her phone pushes another notification, so she breaks it, but it still shows the countdown. Quinn gets in her car and falls asleep there. Jordan wakes her up in the morning. The two of them go up to her apartment. Her sister finds her smashed up phone. Quinn tells her she only has one more day to live. She jokes with her when she figures out the app. Jordan asks to stay with her because their dad went on a last-minute work trip. When Quinn refuses, Jordan storms out. The app beeps again and she scratches her finger on the broken screen. Later, she's in a shop buying a new phone. She gets a completely new phone and SIM card. She checks if the app is there. She doesn't see it. She goes to leave, but another notification arrives. The app is on the new phone as well. She asks the guy about the app. He tries to delete it but can't. When she finally leaves, one of the other customers asks the store guy about the app. Quinn is in her car checking the app, which has continued to count down. Suddenly, she sees a deathly figure in her back camera. Suddenly, it grabs her from the back seat. She rams into another car, falling out of her own. The guy from the other car screams at her. The customer from the store walks out and tells him to stop. He scares him away, shows her that he also has the app. They decide to find a way to see the user agreement for the app again. Matt tells the crazy guy in the bar to download it. Quinn starts reading terms. It says that they have to accept their fate. The crazy guy still agrees to the terms. The app tells him that he'll live to 91. Quinn and Matt go to the hospital and speak to the priest. They ask him about demons. He says that he doesn't believe in them and sends them to someone else. Matt goes to the restroom. He sees a barefoot child under the door. He's washing his hands. Matt hears someone crying in one of the stalls. When he goes to check, he sees the barefoot kid again walking through the stalls like there's nothing in between. It stops at the last stall. Something appears behind him and calls his name. It attacks Matt, and when the lights come back on, it isn't there anymore. Amy takes Quinn to a meeting with HR and Dr. Sullivan. He says that she was the one to corner him. The man from HR says that she'll get suspended. Quinn starts explaining her side of the story. Amy confronts her, but Quinn storms out. Matt is waiting for her. He doesn't tell her what's happened. They walk into a church looking for the priest. They ask him about demons. He immediately thinks of an ancient story. The priest tells them that a prince gets a scroll from an old gypsy woman foretelling the exact hour in which he would die. She heeds him a warning that he must not use the information to alter his fate. The prince still does and goes back to the gypsy, telling her that death is after him. She tells him that it's not death but a demon. The demon will torture him until the moment he dies. He tells them to find someone to hack the app for them. They go to the store guy Derek for help. They bribe him to help them. He knows the app and makes fun of them for believing it, but he still hacks it for them. The code for the app is in Latin. They also find the countdowns for all the people using the app inside the code, including Derek's. He changes all the parameters for his countdown. When they are looking for Quinn, they find her sister's countdown too. Her clock is almost the same as her, so Derek changes it. Jordan sees the change on her phone. Matt and Quinn thanked Derek for changing their countdowns. Quinn asks Matt to stay with her. They are getting ready for bed and even leave the lights on. They are still sacred. Matt tells her a story about his dead brother, and she tells him about her mom. They were both bad to them before they died. The lights go out. Quinn hears something in front of the room and tries to wake Matt up. The demon is the one in bed with her. When the real Matt takes off her covers, the demon disappears. The app goes back to their original countdown. Jordan hears her phone ring. She sees that her countdown has changes. When something appears in front of her room, Jordan goes to check it out. The lights go out again. She goes back into her room and closes the door. She hides under her bed and hears her mom calling to her, asking for her sister. Something pushes her bed aside and suddenly her dead mother appears. Jordan runs to the front door. Quinn and Matt are there. They go to see the demon priest again. He reads the code in Latin for them. It's a curse that he can find a way to break and lift from them. He thinks that if they can keep one of them alive longer than what the app says, the curse will be broken. His plan is to hide in a blessed circle of salt long enough to keep one of them alive so that they can lift the curse. Quinn mixes the salt with paint. The priest blesses the salt. The circle is painted on the floor. When they check Matt's countdown timer, he steps aside, panicking. The lights go out and all of them get inside the circle. The demon approaches. Priest is praying. Demon appears behind them, but it can't get inside the circle. The priest tries to vanquish it back to hell. Suddenly, a toy robot reaches the circle. Matt's brother appears and lures him out of the circle. The demon grabs him and drags him away. Quinn runs after him. When she reaches Matt, a car hits him. He dies with countdown. Jordan is hurt, so Quinn takes her to the hospital. Doctor is taking care of her sister. Quinn sees the doctor talking to her sister and goes over there. She thanks him, but has some kind of plan for him. Jordan tells Quinn that their mother's death was her fault and not Quinn's. She goes into Dr. Sullivan's office and apologizes to him. Manipulating him, he sees right through her and asks her what she wants. She says she wants her job back and tells him to follow her into the closed wing. Moments later, the doctor walks in and looks for her around the closed wing. Quinn is playing a game with him. Suddenly, she hits him with a wrench and wants to inject him with morphine. Jordan shows up and stops her. The demon drags the doctor away. Quinn thinks that if she kills him before his countdown, it will break the curse, so she goes to find him. Jordan looks for her as her app shows her that she has less than 2 minutes to live. Suddenly, the demon appears behind her. Meanwhile, Quinn is still looking for the doctor. She hears something. He knocks her out and gets ready to kill her. She comes after him again. She chases him down, but the demon pushes her away. He escapes. Quinn gets another idea. Jordan is being chased by the demon. She tries to hide from it, but her app gives her position away. A freezer opens and she goes over to investigate. The demon grabs her and throws her through a window. Her time is running out. As the demon closes in to kill her, Quinn shows up with a syringe pushed up against her skin, telling it to let her sister go. Jordan begs her not to kill herself. The demon turns into her mother, diverting her attention. Jordan's time is ticking, and Quinn is distracted for a moment, but she shoots the morphine in her veins. She dies before her time. The demon can't take her. Quinn has lifted the demon's curse. Jordan cries over her sister's dead body. She sees the name of a drug written on her arm and a bottle rolling away. She injects it into Quinn's arm and it counteracts the morphine, bringing her back from the dead. Sometime later, Quinn, Jordan, and their father visit their mom's gravesite. As they're about to leave, Quinn gets a notification. The beta version of the Countdown app has been installed on her phone.